YNABers, my name is Jesse Meekum from YNAB. It stands for You Need a Budget. This is another Whiteboard Wednesday. Today I want to talk about prioritization. You could look at it and say this is about goals, this is about life, or it could be about your categories. I kind of like to think it could be about all sorts of things. I found this originally in a book called Grit, pretty good, kind of slow in the middle, but it's picking up steam toward the end. And it was attributed to Warren Buffett. I thought the story it sounded a little bit apocryphal, so I did some more digging, found more apocryphal evidence of it happening. I still don't think it actually happened. The way it sounds more like a Tony Robbins event than something that would happen with Warren Buffett. But ignore that for a moment because I liked the principle and I think it illustrated, I don't know, just a new way of approaching things. So here's how it goes. You take your list of like your top 25 things you want to accomplish, your top 25 goals, and you would list them on one side of your sheet. Just go all the way down, top 25 things. Not like our bucket list at YNAB, that's a little different, although there are probably similarities. Then you say, okay, deliberate. The top 25 are maybe pretty easy to land on because it's like, 25. You start going. Then you deliberate a lot and you pick your top 5. Like the absolutely most important things. Maybe you'll find overlap and you'd rewrite it and say, oh, that's essentially the same goal. I don't know. But you find your top 25 and you move those, your top 5 of the 25. You move those over here. So you've got the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Maybe one from here, maybe this one, that kind of thing. So you have right here your top 5. So this would be your absolute focus. And then the story goes, apparently with a pilot, where he says, well, what will you do with these other 20 that were over here? And the pilot says, well, these will be my focus. I'll get started on these right away. I'll get a plan of attack. These will be my focus, and I'll just work on these intermittently. And according to the story, Buffett says, no, that's completely wrong. This list now has a new name, these 20 that are left on this side. It was originally your top 25, but the list name, and I love this is what I love about the whole story. This list over here is now called the Avoid at All Costs list. Avoid these completely. Now, when you've just gone through and selected your top 25, and I kind of ruined the punchline, because the exercise would be better if you didn't know this ending, so I ruined that. But if you think about that and you're saying, these are my top 25 most important things, and then you have to just grab 5 and now name these the avoid at all cost column, the question is why? And the story goes and the thinking is that the focus, that your absolute focus is most powerful when it's just on a few things. That's the definition of focus, just on 1 or 2, in this case, 5 things. And if you're thinking about your financials and what you want your money to do for you, is not the same principle appropriate? Could you not think that you want to just rapidly focus on just a few things to really move the needle over here? We talk a lot, one of the filters through which we push any kind of idea, strategy, initiative, feature, whatever is, does this move the needle? And if you were to really focus on just these 5 and avoid at all costs the other 20, would you not see the needle move substantially for those things that are your most absolute top priorities? So something to think about. With money and with categories, of course you have things like your bills and things that are on auto pay, and yeah, you got to keep the lights on and buy food. But couldn't you also look at where you're spending money on things that are kind of important to you, part of your top 25, and then say, but wait, what is most important? And then try and eliminate the outflows that were attached to things that are also kind of important? I think it's an interesting exercise. I think it's one worth doing. That's why I'm sharing. So, in the comments, just list, just kind of report back maybe on what you killed. Like, what's an expense that I would say was my top 25, but now is on my avoid at all costs list? What are some expenses like that where they seem important, and then when you flip it on its head, is it the most important? It's not. Name some of those. I can think of some off the top of my head for me, but that's just for me. So this is for you guys to do, just a little bit of an exercise in prioritizing. new way of thinking about it with the avoid at all costs list. I'm kind of liking the idea. I will see you guys next week.